Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching on different time zones, good morning or good evening. And I'm really glad that the person I'm interviewing today has the same time zone. We're both in Singapore, but just in different locations. And for those who are new in this platform, my name is Marilyn. I'm the CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS, and we are passionate about helping leaders and organizations who are continuous learners and action takers to transform and thrive in all aspects by co creating, contextualizing, and customizing programs with our world class resources. We have served over 3,000 leaders from over 30 countries in different industries, including Petronas, Sony Mobile, ProLife UK, Ayala Group, Chevron, Tencent, Jollibee Foods Corporation, Legato Healthcare, and Shell, to name a few. And the reason why we are organizing several interventions, including this interview, is because we would like to help leaders who don't know how to stay relevant and adapt to the next normal, those who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a hybrid team, and of course, those who are afraid that they can't keep their team and business by consistently reducing cost and consistently um, putting in revenue as well. So to be able to stay relevant and continue to lead more effectively in any situation, join us in this interview. And today it's my great pleasure to have Andrei Popescu. He has helped building great companies in Singapore, Austria, Italy, and Romania with extraordinary people while seeking continuous intellectual stimulation through a broad set of experiences in dynamic, challenging, and high intensity environments. He has been engaged in helping organizations that evolve in challenging market to break down the barriers that prevent them from reaching their potential, which operate in Scandinavia, Eastern Europe, China, and Asia Pacific. Andre is an active participant in the fintech sphere, crypto, and alternative assets class ecosystem, and the blockchain DLT communities in Southeast Asia, Europe, and the USA, who attends meetups regularly, speaking at the conferences and advises on blockchain DLT, Internet of Things, AI, ML, alternative investments, and fintech projects. Andre believes that the introduction of financial digital assets into the financial service sectors will not only stabilize the investment landscape, but will radically disrupt old school ways of financial world. Wow. So without so much further ado, I'd like to bring in Andre. Hi, Andre.
Hello, Marilyn. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure having you here today.
The pleasure is mine, and I'm super excited because I think this is the very first time that I'm going to interview a leader who is in this space of fintech blockchain. And so I'm not that familiar on that space, so it's an opportunity for me to learn a lot from you today,
Yeah,
as well
no,
as I believe our audience. So, although of course we will be focusing a lot on leadership and transformation, and obviously the disruption around finance and investment is also something that is interesting to learn from, right? So, to start with, please share with us your leadership experience and influencers. If you have a favorite leadership style or experience or influencers that you'd like to share with us, please feel free to share with us.
okay, so allow me to say a few words about myself, which will actually clarify a bit my answer. So I
Mm-hmm.
come from Romania. I'm headquartered in Singapore
Mm-hmm.
for quite some time. So I've been in Southeast Asia for more than 10 years. I come from a very nice and fruitful family, which actually nurtured leadership skills
Mm-hmm.
uh, all the way. And I'm happy to say that my role models actually are
Mm-hmm.
my parents.
Wow.
So my father and mother clearly are the people that I always look up to. They are the people that always had my back, and they always uh, help me out in all my situations all the way. And besides that, they were the ones who actually taught me um, ethics, integrity, and everything that comes down from family values, right? So besides that, in terms of people that actually influenced, advised, and actually allowed me to understand the skills and ability to be a leader, I would say my professors were some of the people that I actually admired. I had a very good history professor in my high school,
Mm-hmm.
and from my uni, I will say my finance professor. So yeah, clearly I have a lot of role models which I actually admire and from which I learned a lot. They advised me and they taught me a lot of things. From the fictional sphere, as we always like to look at the uh, characters, I don't know, comic books and things like that, I will say Satoshi Nakamoto, as we are
Mm-hmm.
going towards a fintech related blockchain environment. So yeah, there are a lot of things that we can learn from other people. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, these are like the most important characters that actually help me shape and grow. How should I say my leadership skills along the way?
Wow, thank you for sharing that. It's very interesting, because you've mentioned about having your parents as your role model growing up, and again, that reminds parents like us to be cautious and to be also mindful of how we actually show up in the lives of our children, right? Because at the end of the day, they don't just listen to our words, but they follow us based on what we do, the actions that we take, right? So that gives us so much power, and at the same time gives us a lot of influence to and so we have to be a good role model, right? And it's interesting that you've also mentioned around some of your influencers as a leader. um, that includes your professor in finance, history teacher. So this must be your some of your um, uh, in how would I say this, favorite subjects as well.
Well, yes, and it just happened that besides being my professors, all these people just became my friends, and I'm still in touch with them. We talk on a regular basis, and I'm very happy to have them in my life. So yeah, it's really good to have people that actually you look up to and be in touch with them and always get all that knowledge and wisdom from them.
Thank you for sharing that with us. So, and so having said that, your experience around leadership, what is leadership for you then?
Well, okay, this is actually a tough question. So, the usually the more generalistic questions are actually the hardest. But leadership can be defined in various ways,
Mm-hmm.
and usually differs from sector to sector or from industry to industry. But generally, it refers to the ability to guide, to inspire, and to motivate a group of people to achieve a common goal, a target, right? Something that a milestone, something that we aspire to. A leader usually sets direction. It
Mm-hmm.
aligns people and creates an environment in which others can perform to the best of their abilities. Usually, it comes down to creating value systems, not only creating, actually uh, uh, applying value system and allow
Mm-hmm.
people to thrive and to test all their ideas and everything that they can uh, make them grow and develop. Leadership is not only about having how should I say it, a title or a
Mm-hmm.
position of authority. Um, it's about having the ability to influence others and to
Mm-hmm.
make things happen. Uh, a leader must have a vision for the future and be able to communicate it effectively to
Mm-hmm.
inspire others to work together and of course to achieve their goals.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, I can say that a leader must be able to make difficult decision. It's actually a very important part of not only business but life, making difficult decisions, taking responsibility for their actions and the actions of their team, and continuously develop their own leadership skills. So it's a process, right? So
Exactly.
it involves creating a culture that
Mhm.
supports growth and development. So it's all about fostering teamwork and creating a positive work environment. Um, so it's I will just conclude by saying it's important to understand that leadership is not a one-time event. It's a
Mhm.
continuous process that needs to be nurtured and developed over time.
True, true. And I really appreciate how you reminded us that it's a journey, it's a process that we have to take. It's not a one time event. And that's the reason why I've mentioned during my introduction about, having these interventions on a regular basis, because I believe that, it's a continuous process. It's a learning experience that we have to take. And you've highlighted some of the most important things to pay attention to when it comes to leadership, which includes, having a vision, being able to communicate effectively, not just communicate, but you've actually highlighted it has to be an effective communication that you have to use in order to, and even
Absolutely.
making that difficult decisions, right? Because I think, for leaders, this is one of the most challenging part for them, especially if they have built relationship with their team. And now, we've been hearing a lot of um, issues, or I mean, news where some companies have to let go some of their team
Yes,
members, and these are very difficult decisions, but has to be made, right? And again, it's always a process. It always requires, of course, continuous learning and improvement, having said that as well. So I appreciate all those, nuggets that you have shared on what is leadership for you. And so, also in my introduction, I made mention around next normal and the challenges that the pandemic has brought about into our life, into businesses. And so I'm curious to know, how would you define or describe the next normal?
well, you just said it. The next normal is often used to describe nowadays the post-pandemic world. Well, people will have to adjust to the new ways of living, working, and interacting with each other.
Mhm.
So the next normal now refers to the changes of and adaptations, if I should say so,
Yes.
which are expected to take place in society, in economy, and business as a result of this COVID-19 pandemic, right?
Mhm.
And this is something that it will just change over and over again, because the next normal maybe within 2 or 3 weeks will be something else. But for the time being, the next normal is expected to bring significant changes to the way
Mhm.
businesses operate,
Mhm.
um, such as increased adoption of remote work, virtual meetings, and digital communication, right? So I'm
Mhm.
exactly like you are doing now. Podcasting um, has been very efficient within
Mhm.
the pandemic period, right? And a lot of people just started sharing and communicating and interacting
Mhm.
through podcasts with their communities. And
Mhm.
things just needed to happen in order for us to stay connected and to be socially important, right? To have our connection there. So um, besides the digital communication, this one, the next normal now puts greater emphasis on health and safety
Mhm.
protocol, if I can say so. So
Mhm.
companies will have to, I mean, like, not that they will have to, is that they already have adapted to this new
Mhm.
reality, and they always need to find new ways to remain competitive, to be productive, and to be profitable. In the social aspect, the next normal is expected to see a new way of living, right? So, such as an increased focus on mental and physical health, and
Exactly.
changes in consumer behavior, or as people adapt to a new economic reality.
Mhm.
Uh, these things were always there. So everything that's with regards to mental and physical health, the
Mhm.
processes, the procedures, they were always there. But I think now they really have been focused on. They really have been emphasized on. In an economic aspect, the next normal is expected to bring significant changes in the way we are doing business, in
Mhm.
the way people consume products and services, um, as well as the economy is functioning, right? So everything has to change to adapt to the value chains, to the uh, a lot of processes and procedures which have been disrupted in one way or another. So as businesses adapt to this new reality, some will be forced to even close, or
Mhm.
they need to pivot to new products and services. In summary, I think the next normal refers to the changes that are
Mhm.
likely to take place in society,
Mhm.
economy, business, and everything that you can think of as a result of this pandemic. It's with regards to the adjustment that people, organization, and
Mhm.
I mean, like full society had to make in order to adapt to this new reality.
Yes, and I really like the word adapt and how you have summarized it. It's really like next normal, as you said, is really about adapting into the changes that are happening, and doing things um probably not only in a new way but in a better way, right? I think that's one of the silver linings that the pandemic has brought about in our lives. It's really like realizing like, are we doing the right things, or can we make it a little bit better than yesterday, right? So
Exactly, exactly. Well said.
it yeah, so thank you for again defining that with us and sharing with us all your insights. And again, the space where you are is also like somehow I would say will be part one of the next normal, doing transactions online using
Exactly.
all this
It,
blockchain and all.
the transition to using this type of technologies, I think, is just the normal way to do it. And
Exactly.
COVID-19 pandemic just accelerated this transition.
True.
And right now we are faced with this new technology, which is empowering people. It makes process flow much easier, and it makes them more efficient. So it will be a good thing. I in terms of technology and explaining blockchain to people, actually,
Mhm.
I believe in the near future technology will be same as sending an email. Usually, 99% of the people actually don't know how email technology works. They only know that when you press send, the email just gets blasted and it's sent, right? So blockchain will be the underlying technologies of a lot of financial products, and you'll be
Mhm.
using blockchain without actually knowing that you're using blockchain. So, uh, yeah, it's going to be good. The future is bright.
Yeah, that's good to hear that the future is bright, right? And that's what we all aim for, right? Like working together in, addressing all the challenges that we have faced before, and like adapting to the new ways that we have to look into in this post pandemic era, right? And again, that involves a lot around technology. But even before the pandemic, I would say that leaders like you, corporate leaders, entrepreneurs and all, would have like some experience, or to some extent would have like some problems that they would normally face. So in your from your experience and in your perspective, what would be the top three problems that leaders do face?
Yeah. Again, a tough question. Top three problems. It's hard to classify again, because this one can be different from sector to sector, business to business, industry to industry. But let me just try a bit to answer your question. After a period of 2 years of being in lockdowns and battling COVID-19, I think one of the problem is will be managing change.
Mhm.
So corporate leaders are often faced with the challenging or with the challenge of
Mhm.
managing change within their organization,
Mhm.
whether if it's by implementing a new technology or reorganizing the company, adapting to a changing market, right? And now the markets are so rapid in their adaptations that are it's very hard to keep up. Now,
Mhm.
effective leaders must be able to navigate these changes and help. themselves and also their employees through this transition. So managing change, I would say it's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a second one, I would say meeting financial goals,
Mm-hmm.
um, because corporate leaders are often under the pressure to meet financial goals and increase their profitability, right? So
Mm-hmm.
this can be a challenging task, uh, especially in a rapidly changing economy. And we all seen that the economy was greatly affected by the consequences of this pandemic. So
True.
these are like highly important factors which influence everything from economy to society.
Mm-hmm.
And all these highly competitive industry put a lot of pressure in terms of financial goals and targets. Now,
Mm-hmm.
besides these two things, I believe talent management has also become a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Now, corporate leaders are responsible for building and leading teams that are able to achieve the goals of the organization. So this includes recruiting, training, and retaining the top talent, right? So developing employees, developing their skills and abilities has also become one big issue. And now everyone is focusing very much on creating a positive work environment, right? So keeping up with this fast-paced business environment
Mm-hmm.
is not right? It's really not easy. And the business environment is constantly changing, and leaders must be able to keep up with the changes and not only like anticipate them, but try to be adapting in every way, shape, or form to what's next, right? Whatever is coming. So this requires a combination of strong analytical skills, if I should say so,
Mm-hmm.
strategic thinking, and the ability to anticipate and also adapt, right? So it's all about adaptability to change.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for summarizing that for us. And like if I were to like highlight anything that you have shared with us around managing change. And again, like we both agree that the change is faster than usual, right? Than that, like faster than usual, that leaders and organization can actually like quickly or be agile enough to adapt to those changes. And again, like despite changes is here and everywhere and every day is happening,
Absolutely.
we tend to resist those changes that are happening. Like again, like what you've said, it's one of the most challenging things, especially if like if you have to like to have those changes or transformation happen in a huge organization, right? Like even one person, it's like it's so difficult for us to change already, like those habits that we have been so used to. And some more if it's an organizational like transformation that we have um to have to adapt to, then the more difficult it is, right? Imagine different
Yeah,
people having
just
to
just to to
adapt.
to add, sorry for interrupting you, just to add one more note on this one, on your train of thoughts.
Mhm,
You are totally right, and I only want to say that the markets and
mhm,
business models nowadays are changing and transforming with a speed that was actually rarely seen in any other industry throughout our history.
mhm,
So we are living some very interesting times. I believe the exactly like I said, the future is bright. The future will be a better one for all of us because
mhm,
of this all these new implementation in terms of AI technology and everything that comes around them.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, we live some challenging times.
mhm.
I'm glad that we learned from them, and we are exactly like we're doing here. We are spreading some knowledge, so it's very good.
Exactly. And that's what I love about these conversations that I am that we are having right now. It's really about like sharing the positivity and like reminding people that despite the current situation or the challenges that we are facing, there's always an opportunity. And again, like what you've said, the future is bright. And so that sounds really exciting. And that I think we just have to be reminded of that, right? That, keep on hoping, keep on doing whatever we can right now by, adapting and doing all the things that we can, and look adapting to the new things, of all this, living and working, and how things are being done, or how we do things, right? And yeah, so, and again, I forgot to invite our audience, those who are listening on, whether it's in on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or on Facebook. Feel free to join us in this conversation. Post your questions, post your takeaways, or what you're learning, or aha moments that you're getting from this conversation. So you're welcome to join us. And yeah, so I mean, although you have made mention some of the capabilities, or skills that leaders must have in order to thrive, or to see that bright future, I would say, like analytical skills, anticipating those changes. Are there anything more that you'd like to add on my next question, which is like, what are the other important leadership capabilities or skills that they must have in the next normal?
Skills and capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, let's start with the first one, we've just talked about, and I believe it's one of the most important.
Mm-hmm.
It should be adaptability for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So this leaders nowadays will need to be able to adapt to this
Mm-hmm.
rapidly changing environment, as I told you, and they need to be able to pivot when needed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
to new services and products. So this requires the ability to be flexible and to, how should I say it, maybe think creatively, right? And be open always to some new ideas. So adaptability definitely it's one of them. I believe nowadays there is a lot of focus and emphasis on emotional intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So leaders need to be able to understand not only their own emotions, but as well as the emotions of their employees or their team. So
True.
this will be important for building trust and fostering a good work environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Uh, Again, abilities and skills. Communication clearly remains one of the top three. So effective communication will be essential for leaders in the next normal. I mean, like in every type of business scenario, as they will need to be able to effectively communicate with their remote teams and clearly convey their vision, their goals, their milestones and targets to their team, right?
True.
Nowadays, I think digital literacy is something that it's very new, and there is also a lot of focus on. So everyone, not only leaders, will need to be proficient in digital tools and technologies in order not only to communicate but to collaborate, um, to be efficient with especially with the remote teams. Now, with regards to this ability, I will say that there is also a side effect here, which
Mm-hmm.
is a technological gap, especially which happens to the older generation, right? To the people that actually helped us grow, and we need to make sure that they are not left behind. We need to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that they are well integrated into these systems, and whenever new technologies are implemented, they know how to use them, or
Mm-hmm.
they learn how to appreciate them in some way, shape, or form. Um, Abilities, again, maybe resilience definitely is one of them. So everyone, not only leaders, I mean, like all the team needs to be able to handle stress, and not only stress, maybe pressure, work pressure. And
True.
uh, it's important to maintain a a positive attitude, right, during whatever difficult times that we are facing, right? And
Mm-hmm.
once you move towards the business angle, I think you can say strategic thinking, or like
Mm-hmm.
visionary thinking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you need to think strategically about not only the future of the organization, but also to anticipate market changes or like fluctuations in whatever can affect your business all
Mhm.
around. So making this type of decision will actually help position not only yourself as a leader but also the company
Mhm.
for long-term success, right? um, Now, uh, I think I've mentioned quite a few. I'm quite sure there are more than that. We can leaders
Definitely.
leaders will always need to empower people. So again, empowerment
Sure.
is something that actually it's very important. Trying to bring value to
Mhm.
anything, and to create value, and to
Mhm.
empower people to actually bring ideas to the table, make sure
Mhm.
that they are like fruitful, and try to nurture them to see if they can do something with them. So yeah,
Mhm.
I think there are a lot of skills and abilities that can complement each other in this environment.
Yeah, thank you for identifying at least most of it, I would say, with all the list here that I have at least written. And whatever they heard earlier, I think I missed some of them, but it's mostly here. And again, we cannot stress enough how important communication is, right? Because that
Absolutely.
helps you to not only influence the people, but also to build relationships and to share what's your vision is in order for everyone to work together on the on in to reach that common goal, right? So that's actually like one of the things I would always like highlight in any conversation, especially when said. Yeah, and of course we can't, I mean, adaptability is not just a buzzword now, but it's a reality that we have to like look into and to learn how to be and to do. And of course, you've mentioned around emotional intelligence as well. It's part of building trust and relationships with your customers, with your employees, and at the end of the day, as leaders, right? It's not really how much we made, but how we made others feel.
Well said.
People,
Well said.
yeah, people will remember the experience and the feelings that you have created, or that they have experienced with you, right? So that's really an important reminder for leaders to pay attention to as well. And so that leads me to a question. It's probably an invitation to somehow summarize what we have talked about in the last 5 questions on what do you believe is the role of learning, leadership, and transformation in order to thrive in the next normal.
Yeah, actually, it's a good question. So um, all these three factors are closely linked together. Um,
Exactly.
Learning in the next normal, it's crucial not only to leaders but to employees alike.
Mm-hmm.
So the fast-paced nature of the business environment nowadays means that um, leaders, employees, team members
Mm-hmm.
need to constantly acquire new knowledge and skills
Mm-hmm.
in order to stay relevant and competitive in any domain. So this may involve learning new technologies, learning how to use new digital tools, and even learning new ways of working. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
So uh, leadership, it's vital in guiding any type of organization, especially through challenging times, changes like the next normal, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
need to navigate uncertainty. We need to inspire. We need to motivate team members, and strategic decisions need to be made to position the company for not only for success but for pivoting, especially when it's needed in challenging times, right? So um, now, with regards to transformation, I think organization will need to be able to transform and adapt to all these new changing market conditions.
Mm-hmm.
So this will involve rethinking the traditional business models. Um, of course, as always, it comes down to adopting new technologies and digital tools,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, creating new ways of working. So um, learning, leadership, and transformation clearly are all linked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Learning will
Exactly.
be essential. for leaders and employees to acquire the skills and knowledge needed to
Mm-hmm.
navigate the changes of the
Mm-hmm.
next normal. Leadership will be crucial for guiding organization through these changes, and transformation, I think, will be necessary for organizations to adapt in order to remain
Mm-hmm.
competitive. So together, all these three will be the key to thriving uh, through the next normal. Um, yeah, I think I think we can talk about the links between all these three factors,
Mm-hmm.
but clearly it involves that we need to stay relevant, we need to acquire new skills, we need to keep on learning and adapting, of course. And I believe transformation, actually, the more you transform, the more you adapt yourself to a new thing, the more you perfect yourself. So I'm all for transformation. I always support learning, and clearly this will lead always to good leadership.
Yes, I really love how you've actually connected all three. And again, we can't, and that's, I guess, the reason why I came out with this question to highlight like they cannot be really taken away from each other. It has to be like an integrated one for us to have more sustainability in the way we work, in the way we do business. It's really about, integrating how we lead our team, how we continuously learn in order to transform and adapt to the new ways of doing business, as you've mentioned, adapting to technology or whatever changes we have in the organization, right? So I appreciate how you have actually like identified it one by one and integrated it together. So thank you so much for that. And so that leads me to my last two questions, which I would normally say would be my Miss Universe question. So in this case, it will be a Mr. Universe question. So if you find a magic wand that you can use, what will you do with it? These are very open questions, and so I'm really curious, like what you will come up with.
Yeah, really, but really tough question, seriously. So clearly, I will go towards the usual. I'm quite sure everyone responds in the same way, but I
Mhm.
don't think there is no right or wrong answer here.
Exactly.
As long as it involves education, as
Mm-hmm.
long as it is involves healthcare for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about protecting the environment for the future generations. It's all about making this world a better place. So if I had a magic wand, clearly I use this to make the world a better place, um, to uh, I don't know, help all the people which are affected by I don't know, natural disasters, or those living in war-torn areas and things like that. Um, but yeah, it clearly involves eliminating poverty, hunger, inequality, supporting education and healthcare.
Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for that. And I think that's also like quite, a wish, I guess, if I may say that, or like a hope for everyone, or for most of us at least, to make this world a better place to live in, right? So I really hope that you have a magic one, but for sure, in one way or another, as a leader, with, helping in, as an investor, as also as an entrepreneur, you've been actually helping like a lot of people, even with through this conversation, I would say you've been already like inspiring people and helping people in order to see that hope, to see that better future, right? So thank you so much for being an inspiration, and for like doing things at your own capacities, and with your work, making this world a better place to live in as well.
Thank you
So
very much for your kind words, Marilyn. Thank you very much.
you're welcome, you're welcome. And so that leads me to my last question. If you were to ask yourself a question that you can best answer, what would it be? So, and since you can best answer your question or that question, please
Wow.
also help us answer that question.
I don't know. I really don't know. So nothing comes to mind now. Maybe I'll ask myself, have you ever planted a tree? And I would say yes. Um, I really don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, these are tough questions. I was not expecting this.
So right now you don't really have is but I mean like on a daily basis they said like great leaders would always have like a question in their mind or something that they would reflect on, whether it's on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or something like that. I mean,
Well,
I during our conversation before we started this live interview, right? I told you like that's amazing. Are you still doing all of this? Like, you've been like leading several companies in different countries, and you've been also like actively doing a lot of things in the space of technology, in the finance, investment, and all those stuff. So I asked. I even asked like, how can you even do all of this, right? So I'm just curious to know, like, having that much success and like that much responsibility as well. Like, what do how do you, I guess, prepare yourself, or how do you like actually inspire yourself? I mean, we needed that as well, right? So, like, what
so
question would you ask yourself when you reflect?
well, I'm lucky enough, based on everything that I do, to have a fabulous team and to have a good friends and of course family that actually always support me in my actions.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you say that, okay, this guy is doing a lot of things, believe me, some of these things I do them with pleasure. So I don't consider them work per se,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm lucky enough to be like that and to
Mm-hmm.
evolve into this space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything keeps me busy nowadays. That's true. And I'm trying all my best to actually divide everything from work, family, and pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in terms of things that make me happy, I would say that works make me happy because
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing things that actually are relevant not only to myself but I think for future generations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also studying. I'm a PhD student now, so that keeps me very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Always researching. So for the last 2 years, my company has been researching financial digital assets and evolving all sorts of AI, machine learning adaptations within financial markets and systems. So believe me, whenever I have time to think, I always think about problems and solution
Mm-hmm.
towards my goals and my milestones. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm lucky enough to say that I don't consider this work. So everything that I do with pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it comes down to balancing work, life, and family.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what type of questions I ask, believe me, I will not share them here with you, but they are all technical questions. They are all things that actually bring efficiency and optimization towards my work.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you so much for sharing that with us, and I really appreciate it's really inspiring to hear from you. And again, it's a reminder, especially for entrepreneurs, or small and medium enterprise owners, right? Like to do what they love to do. That's what I get, at least from your message, right? Ensuring that you are happy with whatever you do, and finding the right people to work with in order for you to be happy also with the things that
Absolutely.
you do, right? And that makes life easier. And again, I love the part that you said that it's really looking for balance between work, family, and the things that you love to do, right? Because at the end of the day, again, we always long for happiness, and the only way for us to do that is when we get to like satisfy every aspects of our of our lives, right? So thank you so much for that reminder. And is there anything more that you'd like to leave our audience with before we end this conversation?
Well, thank you very much for having me here today. It has been an absolute pleasure having this conversation with you, Marilyn. With regards to your audience, exactly like you said, just keep on pushing. make sure you do your best in everything that you do, regardless if it's school, work, or any type of other activity, and always strive to do this world a
Mhm.
better place. That's about
Wow, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful message. And I really appreciate this conversation. Very insightful, I would say. And I've really learned a lot from you as well, from what you've shared. And I hope that our audience, those who will watch this, whether on a live or a replay, that they get inspired with the work that you do. So thank you so much again, Andre, and thank you everyone for watching us. Join us in this journey to create an opportunity to make this world a better place to live in, right? And remember that even the richest investors in the world would always say that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make in your life. So, with that, we would like to leave you all with this quote that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you so much, Andre, and thank you, everyone. Have a good day. And I, thank you, Noel, for your comment. And thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day. Bye for now.
it. Bye bye.